Hello, hello. Uh, just want to say hi to everyone. Welcome to our 50 Strong Employer Connect event. We are specifically featuring John Deere today, so we're really excited to feature them and get you to meet the military talent team. You're going to learn about some really exciting opportunities at their dealership, part service, management roles, all kinds of great stuff. So we're really, really thrilled to be here. Before we pass it over to the John Deere team for the presentation, there's a few things that I want to cover. One, I'm Chantel with 50 Strong. Full disclosure, I do not work for John Deere, but I am repping their awesome pink polo today. And we do have a couple events coming next week I want to touch base on. So we have Johnson & Johnson starting tomorrow at 3 p.m. EST, and then Tech Systems next Thursday on the 25th. So be sure to join us. We'll go ahead and drop the links in the chat so you can sign up for all of our upcoming events. If you've never been to any 50 Strong event, typically we have large events with tons of different employers, right? Super easy, casual, but we do these exclusive events featuring companies like John Deere, so that way you can have a lot more one-on-one time with their military recruiters. All right, so we know that navigating civilian employment is difficult, whether you got out 10 years ago, 2 months ago, or you're getting out in 6 months, there's a lot going on. So the whole point of these is for you to be able to just get industry exposure, talk to military talent recruiters, and see if you can find a fit. You might not always, but these military talent teams work together all the time because we want to give you the exposure required to find out your next career path. We did drop in a poll if you want to take a couple of seconds to answer that so we can find out where you're coming from. We also have a few different tools that I would like to go over before I pass it to the John Deere team. Okay, so we have our employment pathways. This can be found on our website, and we've dropped the links in the chat. But this is a general overview of all of our employer participants' pathways. So their career URL, their intake form, whatever works best, key locations. It's a really good opportunity for you to just get a general guidance on the different programs and pathways that each employer has. We also have our student listings. We have internship, new grad, part-time opportunities for military affiliated students, and those are getting updated on the daily. So definitely encourage you to check that out, and you can filter by city and state. Then we have, this is new, so we have our apprenticeship listings. So we have several apprenticeship opportunities listed on there because skills-based learning is really, really important, and we definitely have companies that truly value that. So definitely encourage you to check that out. And then lastly, if you are a transitioning service member, we have almost 6,000 SkillBridge listings on our website, on our SkillBridge Connect portal, where you can filter by city and state and see tons of different opportunities that you can apply for a SkillBridge. So definitely want you to check those out. Couple important things, please make sure that your Zoom is updated to 5.3 or 5.3.0 or later. That just way you can make sure that you can move yourself into the breakout room. If you can't, no problems, we'll take care of you and move you. All right, so general rules, we're gonna do the John Deere presentation about 20 minutes, then the breakout room is gonna open. There's actually only one breakout room today, it's for dealership opportunities. So if you're interested in dealership opportunities after the John Deere presentation, you'll go into that room. Otherwise, you could stay in the main breakout room with us, and we'll have representatives from John Deere in here as well. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick. And I just want to say 69% of you are here for the first time today, which is freaking awesome. So thank you so much for being here. And then we have roughly 25% junior enlisted and almost 50% E6 to E7, which is very cool. So thank you all for being here. And we have about 56% of you that are considered a student veteran. So thank you so much for taking the time. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to David O at John Deere so he can give you the rundown on all the awesome opportunities at the dealership.
Chantel, thank you very much. Candy, everyone from 50 Strong, thank you for hosting us, and everyone on the call, we thank you for your service and thank you for being here today. Hey, before we get started, let's do a quick introduction of our team that's going to be joining us today. So Jess Mady, you go first.
Hey y'all, I'm Jess Mady. Yes, pronounced like a pirate. I wore my anchor chain in case you forget. I am a Air Force Medical Service Corps veteran. Also a military spouse, a current active military spouse, and I am the military outreach manager on the dealership side. So I'll be in the breakout room ready to chat with you all.
Awesome. Thanks, Jess. Cassie, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cassie Glubzinski. I have never worn the uniform, but I've watched it a lot. My husband has been active duty in the Army for almost 15 years. We've been married for over 13 of them. And I have the privilege of serving as the military outreach coordinator on the company side. So I work directly for David O, and I'll stay in this main room with David O while we do our meeting today. Thank you all for being here, and thank you so very much for your service.
Thank you, Cassie. Marcus, go ahead.
Hey everybody, Marcus. Served a little bit over a decade active duty Air Force. I was a weapons tech, so primarily turning wrenches on fighter bomber aircraft. Also an active duty military spouse as well. So I'm the guy on the team, the maintenance wrench turning grunt. So always happy to, meet with other fellow maintainers, and I'm really excited that you're all here and we could share some opportunities with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcus. Lee, go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Lee Snyder. I am recently retired. I'm actually going through my transition right now in SkillBridge with John Deere. So I know what a lot of you guys are going through right now with that transition process, and just so happy to be here and help you guys out on your next journey.
And thank you, Lee. David Bostic.
Hi, everyone. Dave Bostic here. I'm the military hiring program manager on the dealership side. Did a tour in the Marines many years ago. Started my career off with John Deere as a dealership technician. Not quite as many years ago. Been done everything from turning wrenches to being an area service manager with John Deere over my career, and have had the honor the past 4 years of helping run this program. So I'll be looking forward to talking to everybody about questions you may have about life at a dealership, type of work and training that the technicians go through.
All right, thank you, David. Another one that's on the call, if you can hear me, Mo Seppi. Introduce yourself real quick, if you can. This is a little surprise, but go ahead. Okay, he might not be able to do it. Mo Seppi's a SkillBridge, also at our Davenport Works facility. Hey everyone, my name is David Ottavianelli. I have the privilege and honor of leading our military outreach programs at John Deere. A 9-year Army veteran. What you heard during the introduction is a wide range of experience and really a great talent pool to help you regardless of where you go. If you come to
Sorry, Dave. Now I do. I see I have the access to unmute.
Okay, go ahead, Mo Seppi.
Okay, right. My name is Mushoki Agola. I currently work here as an intern with the quality and fabrication team as a quality engineer, working on the construction equipment side of fabrication and, assembly of things in regarding to John Deere at Davenport Works. I'm stationed in Hawaii. I'm going through my transitioning program, and I joined this SkillBridge in January. I'll be wrapping up in May next month.
Awesome. Thank you, Mo Seppi, for doing that. So, hey, we're here to just have a casual conversation to help you out with your transition. And what the plan is today is to really just give you an overview and then break you into different paths that you may want to take and to help have that. We ask for your willingness to participate, and really there's no wrong answers because it's your path, right, that we're going to talk about and share with you today. Okay, so make sure, let me double check here, make sure I'm sharing. Okay. All right, everyone see my screen okay? Are we good?
Yes, sir. Good to go.
All right, hey, I'm gonna go through, like I said, a quick introduction about John Deere and show you this. We want to make this process very simple. And on the screen, you see a QR code. And with that QR code is part of our military outreach process here that we ask you to scan this and fill out a contact card, either a dealer or a company side. We'll explain that here in a minute. But what this really is just setting up. It's not an application, but it's just to set up a casual conversation with a veteran or military affiliated supporter from our team that's going to have a 30-minute conversation with you to help guide you through that process. We found this conversation to be an excellent part of our outreach and to help you, right? Because you may not know where you want to go, etc. A lot of folks on the call, you may have heard of John Deere in the past, but a couple of things I'd like to highlight with you that you may not know. For instance, we doubled in 2018 with the acquisition of a company called Virkin. We doubled the size of our construction and forestry division. Virkin does all your road paving in the US and Europe. There's Vogela, Virkin, Ham rollers. Those are all part of John Deere right now and an integral part of our construction portfolio. You may not also know that we're a technology leader, not only in agriculture, but in the tech space. And I highlight two programs on our agricultural equipment that have come into the market in the last couple of years. One, we have introduced to the market autonomous tractors. And then two, a concept called See and Spray. And that's a sprayer going through the field, 10 miles an hour, spot spraying or identifying over 1 million different weed types in the spot spraying those instead of doing a mass spray. Huge reduction in chemicals that from an environmental impact, and then also a huge cost reduction to our customers and helping them reduce their costs. So having that industry, agriculture, and experience in providing that technology and solutions for our customers. And everything that we do is based upon our customer. And we're a proud supporter of John Jackson in this picture. John runs he's a former Army Ranger, and he runs a nonprofit called Comfort Farms in Georgia that helps with service members as they're transitioning out of the military to come into the civilian sector, and does a number of different things, farming, and has some John Deere equipment, and we help support and grow his farm with him. So why you should be considering John Deere? You're going to see lots of different companies, and we advise you and hope that you do, right, in looking at this. But here are a couple of things that resonate extremely well. This higher sense of purpose, helping farmers and infrastructure workers feed and shelter the world, is not the same as what you do today and serve your country, but it's close. So every day when we come into work, we know what our mission is in helping those farmers and do that. There's not enough food to feed the growing populations, and we play a critical role in that. There's similar core values from your military service that translates extremely well on integrity, quality, commitment, innovation, and now humanity that you're used to. And everything that we do is in a team-based environment that helps support that customer. I'm an Army veteran, so I'm going to talk Army terms for you. That'd be a platoon, a group of 30. It gets really confusing for me in the Air Force and stuff, a wing or a section. No? Okay, so bear with me. But that would be a platoon of 30 if you're Army, right? That we focus those teams on. And we need leaders that drive continuous improvement, that are change agents, that can bring different perspectives to help lead those teams. There's incredible opportunities for growth, and we're a market leader in pay and benefits. So once again, you're going to see lots of companies, and really these first, finding that right match is going to be important for you. Okay, we have a wide range of experience in this process. And as we talked about through this process, the first thing we ask you to do is to scan that QR code and come to our site. And then you have to make a selection between either company or dealership roles. I'm going to explain further what those differences are. And then we'll help you if you're active duty, skill bridge, opportunities, fill out that paperwork. We know how to do it and set up that networking to apply if you're a veteran for open roles. Since we've started this, we've been able to talk with and provide opportunities for over 800 different service members, 300 of those being in skill bridge interns, and then 500 being in direct hires, veterans going into our dealerships and our company locations. So what I'm telling you is this team's efficient, right? We know the paperwork, we know what to do, we can help you with your command approval. We can talk with you about the guidelines on skill bridge and how it all works, how you cannot use terminal leave and skill bridge at the same time, etc. We also provide you the opportunity, if you're going through a third party, i.e. like Hire Our Heroes, we're a member or a participant in their programs, and we can host you in those cohorts also. And just to clarify, when we talk about this with our MOU for Skill Bridge, we have the opportunity to host you in Deere and Company roles, and then also at our 2,000 or plus dealerships across the United States. So when we start talking with you in this 30-minute conversation, you already filled out the contact card, and that's right. There's no, it's not, hey, contact me on LinkedIn or send me an email. It's that contact card, and that's our accountability to get back to you within a timely manner to make sure that we're following up on this process. But there's 3 key questions that we want you to think about, and we want you to start thinking about that today. When we do our breakout session, we're going to ask you to volunteer to provide you these 3 answers to these 3 questions, because it's going to help craft your kind of your plan and your process. Number 1, which drives 76.7% of the conversation. All right, I made that number up, but it's very high. 70 to 80% of what's going to drive this is what location are you considering? And most importantly, why? I'm going to talk specific about locations a lot because this is so important to you. And it's really about where you want to settle if you're getting out, or where you want to be, or what's available to you. And yes, it may require an additional move, but then it's really about after that, right? To do that if you're on active duty. The second thing, what's your timing? If you're active duty or National Guard or veteran, if you are active duty, are you eligible for a skill bridge internship? Have you started talking to your command? And what are those key dates? Your end of active service, your terminal leave, and then your DoD skill bridge start dates. And we know how to formulate all the paperwork and all the timing that can be done. So having those key dates is important. And then third, what type of work are you looking to do? And we want to do this to understand, you know, the type of roles that you've done in the past and match that against your expectations, and then see if there's internships or full really post-internship opportunities afterwards, and what's the likelihood of that. Now, you may not know, and that's okay. We have some ideas for you to consider if you don't know, and especially if you're skill bridge eligible, right? You can look at some different opportunities to explore multiple opportunities. All of our opportunities will be fully on site. We do not have remote opportunities at our company and dealership locations, and this is important, and we've learned a lot on this, because if you are looking at doing a skill bridge, it's going to be having that network, and understanding the company becomes a critical part of you being successful for that post-skill bridge opportunity. So first off, dealership side. So answering those 3 questions, locations, you can see here over 2,000 different locations, and there's probably a John Deere dealership in your hometown. If you're headed back to home, if you're on active, or if you're there as a veteran today where you're living. This is a great opportunity And we have really looking at parts, sales, and service, right? Types of different roles that will be featured in these types of locations. That's going to be Jess, Marcus, and Lee, and David Bostic on there, right, talking about this. And you can see why this drives the majority of our opportunities to include Alaska and Hawaii, right? And also we've continued to expand this, right, to different states and even different countries because of the popularity and the need. If you work with your hands, if you're involved with maintenance, if parts, inventory, sales, that kind of stuff, excellent opportunities for you to consider at our dealerships. If you're interested in operations, leadership, manufacturing, logistics, supply chain, engineering, right, that leads into our company locations and opportunities to do that. You can see here highlighted are 16 major manufacturing sites. And in yellow are smaller facilities that we do not host SkillBridge on because they're too small. We found that the opportunities post SkillBridge were not as plentiful as they are at the facilities that are annotated in black. The majority of our manufacturing and our key sites are going to be in the Midwest. And I quickly want to explain what that means in the level of vertical integration that's entirely different from other manufacturers in the key competitive advantage that it gives us. I'll highlight two areas. Moline, Davenport, that's our area. That's by the Rock Island Arsenal. It's called the Quad Cities. We have 5 manufacturing sites, our headquarters, combine factory, construction factory, planter factory, a cylinder facility, and a large parts distribution center. You can do multiple roles, multiple levels of responsibility, go into our corporate or our management side out of those facilities and never move. Waterloo, Iowa builds one product line, tractors, has 5 facilities to support that, has a foundry, unheard of in US manufacturing. We have a foundry that gives us a huge competitive advantage. We have a drivetrain component assembly location. We have our own engine facility. We have our tractor cab assembly, and then an engineering center that designs all that. So once again, just to show you, you can do multiple roles, multiple opportunities in 1 or 2 locations and never have to move, right, in doing that. Once again, all of these are on site also. Okay, so what we're going to ask you to do, leaving this, and we'll put this in the chat multiple times, making sure you have it. When you come to our John Deere military hiring page, our program page, you're going to see these 2 different opportunities. And dealership side, once again, if you're interested in any of these, parts, sales, service, and more, but they would be at these locations. And then for the company, primarily in the Midwest, and that's why we get into the locations plays such a key role. So that would be on your right-hand side if you're interested in those company locations to do that. Okay. Sorry, I had the wrong, I gotta get the next slide here. Hold on one second, bear with me. So what we're gonna do next is, if you're interested in going to the dealer side, we're going to have a breakout room that will put you into that and have those discussions to get into that complete detail. If you don't know, stay in this room, okay? And then we'll take the next steps in explaining all that to with you, and then put you in that dealership room, or we can go somewhere else if we want to, if you don't know, or we can have that discussion. Okay, let me see 1 second here. Anything else to add, team, before?
Just real quickly I know he touched on part sales and service, but there is an entire range of opportunities between that. So don't think that it's pigeonholed to simple positions within those 3. If you want to learn more, come to the dealership breakout room when it opens.
And I would also piggyback and say that for company opportunities, if you're interested in HR or IT. Our team is not actively recruiting for any IT or HR roles on the company side. There are some dealership ones. You can chat with the dealership team about those. They are primarily at different dealership headquarters, and you will need to go into that breakout room to inquire with the team as to whether or not you are in a location close enough to one of those opportunities. But if you're interested in HR, recruiting, or any IT positions, we encourage you to consider our dealership opportunities. We just simply don't have them at the company side at this time.
Thank you both. Okay. So at this point, we're gonna stop sharing here and we're gonna ask you to go into those breakout rooms.
All right, I'm gonna
Chantel?
open up. Yep, I'm gonna open them right now.
All right.
And we're gonna do it for 50 minutes, an hour, David?
Yeah, let's plan on 50. It would be
All
great.
right, okay. Let me start.
Anything in the chat that I missed or questions?
All right, breakout rooms are open, so it's really easy. There's one and it says dealership opportunities. So if you go to the bottom right-hand side of your screen, it should say like more, or there's a button with 3 dots. Just click that and hit the breakout room button, and then you can move yourself in. If for whatever reason your Zoom's not working and you can't move yourself, just drop it in the chat and I'll manually move you over. But again, if you're not wanting to go into the dealership opportunities room, you can stay here because Cassie and David will be here to converse.
Awesome. Thank you, Chantel.
David, operation leadership roles are for the dealership side specifically. That's a question from Gina.
No, they would be primarily in our company side.
So if y'all have questions, now's the time. You can come off
Yep.
mute, or you can put it in the chat to ask more specifics. That way David and Cassie can answer the questions.
Treat
for
it
you.
like a coffee shop.
Hey, David, John Deere team, Bill Harrington here. I have a question in regards to SkillBridge specifically. When folks go to SkillBridge, are they aligned with a specific role within the company, and then you're already working for that role, or is it just a general SkillBridge where you guys at that point figure out where the best fit based on that location is?
Yeah, so it depends on what you want to do, right? And what you're looking at doing. If you know, for instance, you want to do operations leadership or supply chain or even finance and accounting or some type of field like that, it will be specified in that one area to help give you the skills and grow your network to be the top candidate for potential roles that are opening. Through the SkillBridge process, we cannot guarantee you that opportunity, but what we're going to do is going to set you up to be successful, to be one of the top candidates in that application of that. So it depends upon the availability of the roles, right? That making sure there's a number of different opportunities post SkillBridge, and also making sure that we're mentoring you, working with you, providing you those insights and giving you that opportunity to be one of the top candidates. And sometimes it's hard. It's not guaranteed because you're sometimes competing against folks that may have 3 to 4 years of experience in those types of roles. But typically, military, they're fast learners because this is what you've done your whole career, right? And come into this and you take initiative and lead to that, and it's led to a high conversion rate. Does that answer your question? Go ahead.
Hey, David. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sick, but this is a question that I just wanted to pop in. And Bill, I just wanted to say kudos to you for asking this question, because what we're seeing is a whole lot of SkillBridge programs popping up that are kind of this catch-all. And so I appreciate that you asked this question. Keep asking that question of every SkillBridge program that you talk to. What you'll find, I think, for employers that run programs, they're really thinking more about how do we get to those employment outcomes, even though employment is never guaranteed, as David said. But as we're seeing more programs that are not tied at all to employment, I applaud you for asking this question.
Well, and I'm speaking from, I guess from the other side of the track as I'm on the command deck team. I'm the sergeant major for my unit. And so I'm the one that all the SkillBridge packages come through for all my Marines, right? And I vet those, and then I get some feedback from my Marines as they go out and do SkillBridge. And I would say a lot of times these jobs end up or these SkillBridge opportunities end up in a job, but there has been a lot of times where they didn't have anything on the back end, right? So I don't want to say this Marine wasted their SkillBridge opportunity because they probably still got a good experience out of it, but it didn't lead to a job because there was nothing on the back end that was available. And where I've seen some companies, they have that SkillBridge is tied to a specific position, right? So that you're essentially already getting hired for that position unless you do really bad in SkillBridge, and they don't want to hire you on the back end. But most of the time they're tied to a specific position. That's why I asked.
Yeah, and so we open up our SkillBridge to allow anyone to do it. So the timing of that, and typically what we're going to do these high turnover roles or roles that we have consistent needs in, and that's that operations leadership number one. Material, if you're inventory or logistics or material high demand type of role, if anyone is an engineer out there are a number of opportunities. And this is the way companies need to balance this through cycles, right? It's very easy when everyone's hiring, etc., right? But then how do we sustain these programs and keep that there equals matching against those high demand type of roles. And really the key thing is to develop that training plan that gives you that opportunity and put you in areas and location wise that have multiple opportunities to do it. And that's why some of these smaller facilities, they did a great SkillBridge earlier, and this is when we made some adjustments prior to this, but they weren't able to make an offer, or just wasn't a match for that specific location. That's why location from the service member perspective is so important.
David or Cassie, there was a question in here from Sean Crabtree regarding where the supply chain leadership roles would be, if that would be on the company side or on the dealership side.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt David. I'm sorry. So it's either or. Sean, where are you looking to be located? And if you can't unmute, if you want to drop it in the chat, that's 100% fine.
Can you hear me now?
We can, Sean. Yeah. Where is it you're looking to be located?
Within the contiguous United States.
You are very open to a lot of opportunity. I
Wow.
love that, Sean.
You know
Love
where the
that.
work is.
That's great. So David, Sean's question was in specific to supply chain leadership positions. Would
Yes,
you
ma'am.
speak
Yeah.
to that on the company side? And
Yeah, that's going to be mainly at the Moline, Davenport, or Waterloo area will be the greatest number of opportunities that are going to be there. Once again, that Davenport, Moline area is a combination of 5 manufacturing sites plus our headquarters. So in some of our roles, the way we do supply chain logistics, I'll quickly explain it. Here is our supply chain managers are responsible for the relationship with our suppliers, building those parts, cost, schedules, managing all that to the delivery of those parts to the warehouse. And then what we call, inventory or material flow, which are part of the supply chain also. They're responsible from the warehouse to the point of use and the consumption of that material, feeding that back through our ERP system and making sure that we have enough parts to keep the line running, and keep our production teams building those products and managing the inventory, right, to do all that. Two separate groups, they go back and forth. What we find is there's a fine, a lot of folks go in and out of operations leadership, material logistics, or supply chain, and go back and forth because of the what they're supporting and the likelihood of that. The majority of those would be in the Midwest. To specifically answer your question, Sean, at Moline and Waterloo being the top ones, Dubuque third, and then Des Moines after that.
Thank you, sir.
And if anyone has questions, now's the time. I mean, you're getting one-on-one, like, awesome opportunity with both Cassie and David to talk about any questions that aren't like related to the dealership opportunities. Gina, hand up, go for it.
Hey, I actually have a couple questions if y'all don't mind. So I'm originally from the Quad Cities area. I enlisted out of there, so it would be a dream come true to come back home. But I've been monitoring the job boards, and I know you said HR roles, you're not recruiting for those actively. Is that something that's going to open back up anytime soon, or are those closed off for a good time now? I'll go with that one first, and then I have a second question.
Yeah, I don't, that depends on a number of different factors, but I don't see them opening it up in the near future. I do not.
Okay. No problem. So I was looking at the job boards, and I saw that there's an employee communications role that's available. However, it's listed for a director of employee communications out of the Moline location. So is John Deere one of those employers where for a level like that, you generally promote from internal positions, or are there any other communications roles that are available? That was the only one that I could see in that that location. But I just think my education, my experience just aligns more with, you know, the people focused HR communications roles. So I wanted to make sure that I was looking at job opportunities that would actually align with my resume.
Yeah, Gina, thank you. Yeah, for that. That's true. Most of that, it may be posted internally or filled internally. It may be external, but there's a chain, right, that would lead to that. We also partner with, you know, one thing that we would look at, Cassie maybe can search this when it comes to other types of roles through our contingent or third party, very similar contract employees. We have an organization, you do the same type of work. You're coming in, you're integrated into the company. It's a great mechanism to learn and to become a full-time employee. And Gina, the other thing too, I would tell you is there may not be something that is a perfect match now, but get in, right? So in your case, location is you know, we talked, I think I talked enough about this. That's easy, right? You know this place. You know, it's great. The new bridge is amazing, right? The cities continue to grow. It's great. No traffic, low cost of living. You're helping me with my advertising for this, right?
Yes.
It's incredible. Friendly people, very friendly network. You know, and so what my point is look at some maybe alternative pathways. Your dream job is in HR or communication. I understand that. I'm not telling you to not dream that that's the case, but it might not be available now, but get in doing this. I'd like to go ahead, Cassie. Go ahead now.
I was just going to ask, because I know you're saying HR in the background and stuff. Full disclosure here, I have an MBA in finance. Okay. So I'm doing what I love. I absolutely love this job. Is when you look back at your career thus far, or, you know, even in volunteer experience, what have you done, Gina, that you're like, I loved doing that?
So I actually have two parts to my career. So I have a technical background. I'm a weapons technician in the Navy. I work with the F-35. So very, you know, maintenance-based, technical focused. I'm currently in quality control. So that's the one side of it. The thing that I have enjoyed even more than that has always been talent development, early talent pipeline management, enablement programs. So more just like the internal side of business development. How do we empower our people to reach their full potential? So I've served in a variety of those roles, and that's kind of what I'm gearing towards, but I do have a ton of experience on the maintenance and the technical side of the house as well.
So Gina, there is actually a commercial account manager open with P&K Midwest in Davenport. And the reason why I bring that up, it's a very it's at the dealerships, but it's a very B2B type of role. You are educating other businesses that purchase our products and use us for service. You're educating them to any precision upgrade kits that may be available. Or if we're rolling out a new line that's part of the software system that can be updated and allow them to work more efficiently and effectively, and that type of thing. Given your background, that you already have a background in like maintenance and technology, you would catch on very quickly. And I would actually very strongly encourage you to hop into the dealership breakout room and chat with specifically Jess. Jess handles the partnership with P&K, has a very strong relationship with them, but they do have that opportunity open and available right now. That would be a really great one. And it's technically a sales role, but it's utilizing those skills that you just laid out.
Perfect. What was the title for that role again? I'm sorry.
Called a commercial account manager. The dealerships call them CAMs, but they really are B2B salespeople. This is, you're working with like a golf club or a country club, or you might be working with a landscaping company or, such and such. So it's a very fantastic opportunity that really enables you to have a little bit to do with everything in the dealership, but you're also strongly tied with John Deere, Deere and Company.
Okay. And now would that job populate on the John Deere job boards, or would I go through the P&K website?
So you would actually go through P&K for that, but I would invite you to complete the dealership contact card. And I will drop that link in the chat for you again. Sorry, I gotta switch my screen here because I had P&K up. There it is. And if you complete that that contact card, which is just a Google form, we'll have one of our dealership reps reach out to you and chat with you about that opportunity and some others that are in the Quad Cities area. There's some really great ones available at the dealerships. That one in particular is in Davenport.
But not so fast, not so fast, Gina, because I love this conversation. I would tell you, here's something I would tell you. Given your background of what you do today and what you just explained, I would advise you, if you want to set up a company contact card, we'll have this conversation. We need quality engineers. Most CEPI is doing this today, right? And there's a high demand for those roles. Gets you in, and then with your experience, after 1 year or 2 years, then you can go into developing people and into that next step in communicating, right? In doing this. You're a valuable asset with your skills that you have gained. And the final thing I would tell you, right? So that would be on the company side, and we develop you, we pay for you to go to school, right? All that kind of stuff is possible things that, once again, it may take a move or two for you to get to that dream job, etc. in doing that. But that's where the roles are open, and they're excellent mechanisms given your background to get in and to provide value to a company quickly. Hey, other thing real quick too, Quad Cities has an incredible veterans network with some big time businesses. Eaton, Amazon just came to the area, right? Looking for veterans and really incredible opportunities. We're a key partner with them. We meet every Thursday, tomorrow, third Thursday of the month, 5:30. Go to Quad City Veterans Network on LinkedIn, find them, QCVN. Great opportunity for you to get affiliated with a bunch of folks similar to Deere.
And last question, I promise I will stop talking so everyone else has time. So I already filled out the company contact card. I'll go ahead and do the dealership contact card as well. So you mentioned education. What type of programs does John Deere offer? Like, I'm currently in my doctorate program, and I know I have my veterans benefits and everything, but is John Deere a company that supports going to school outside of your role?
Yep.
And if so, are there any education benefits that are also afforded to
Yes.
the employees?
Yes, ma'am. We have tuition reimbursement benefits. It's limited by the IRS to a certain level, right? That you can do as a company, but that's all fully as a employee that we would support you on. Right. And that's exactly, we want you to continue to do that, to continually learn. Okay.
And Gina, don't fill out the dealership. If you've already filled out the company, same team. We're gonna chat with you about both options, all inclusive options in your area. So, and
Thank you
thank you
so
for your
much.
service.
I just want to say one thing for anyone that has just joined that is like unsure of what's happening. This main room, we're talking about everything that's not dealership roles. If you are interested in dealership positions, go ahead and go to the breakout room listed dealership opportunities. And then Cassie, I'll pass it over to you because I know we have we have Jack first and then Michael for our next questions.
Yep. Jack, did you want to unmute? Go ahead.
Technology here. I am a little conflicted here because I'm looking at my fellow veterans, and it seems like there's a lot of folks that are probably still active duty or recently discharged. I served during the Reagan administration, so I'm a little bit beyond the pale of recent service. But I received, I was recently unemployed and received this from this invitation from my unemployment office, for which I'm grateful. I appreciate all you being here today. That's great information. But I've spent the majority of my career in healthcare, and I'm just trying to figure out how, when you look at overall skill sets, how does that translate? How do I interpret a job description and read myself potentially into that? It's not a one-for-one for me, so I'm a little bit confused. I might be better off just saying, can one of y'all call me and let's have a chat about my background if that's possible. I know you're busy, but that feels like it'd be the most expeditious route.
Hey, Jack, we deal with this, folks coming out of the medical and many all the time, right? So this is not uncommon. There are some synergies, especially around operations, leadership, materials, inventory, those types of supply chain, could be some matches, etc. We're not gonna call you. You're gonna fill out a form, a contact card.
I did that.
In your case, I want you to do the company side. Okay. And here's what we're gonna do, right? Because this is a ecosystem that I have a number of contacts. If you are interested in maintaining the relation with the medical field at major hospitals and major organizations throughout the state of Iowa, Illinois that need folks just like yourself. If you're interested, right, then I would hand you off to them after we have our conversation. But what's going to drive that conversation, after filling out that contact card, is going to be the location, timing. We know what that is for you, but what type of work that you're looking to do.
Yeah, I have no issue about networking in general. I appreciate the invitation to do that, but I have no necessary love for the healthcare space. When I saw John Deere, I just thought, well, the John Deere name, supersedes itself.
Yes,
People
sir.
know the quality
No,
of
thank
things,
you.
and it'd be an honor to work for such an organization. I just want to go and serve and contribute in a way that betters.
Okay, awesome. So let me answer this question. Number one, what location and why?
Well, the closer to the Kansas City area, the better, just because I have family out in that area. So it'd be nice to reconnect in that way. I know that's not a big corporate answer,
No, there's no wrong answer. And what I've learned is I'm not going to convince you where to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? Absolutely not. Because it's your decision, and that's fine. We're just going to say, here are the options at X, Y, and Z of those locations. So we do have dealerships that we could look at, and we'll hand you off, right? Fill out one contact card, we'll figure it out, and we'll see what's available there or not. Des Moines would be the closest one besides that.
And that's where headquarters is, correct?
The headquarters are in Moline.
Olean. Okay, my
Yeah,
bad.
so Quad Cities, Quad Cities.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll stop talking. Appreciate your help. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Michael is next.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm in Duluth, Minnesota. I've actually already done the contact card side of it with Herman Hernandez. We had a brief chat. That's kind of why I'm here now, though, because in the last semester of my MBA, and I've been looking at the job board. I've been looking for positions in either competitive strategy, marketing, product management, something along those lines. But my background's mostly in forestry. I did healthcare in the military, but I've been doing forestry since I got out, and that's kind of the direction I was kind of hoping to go with Deere. Probably the John Deere product I'm most familiar with is the 440 skidders. And I was wondering where are those operations centered? I'm pretty much open to going wherever, but ideally we'd prefer to be located somewhere in the Quad Cities area.
In your Michael, your degree is in what? Is it going to be in that customer outreach or business, or is it engineering?
So I have a bachelor's in natural resource management with a concentration in forestry, and I'm finishing up an MBA at Rice University. The MBA didn't have any concentrations, but I've done all my electives in strategy and marketing.
Okay. Yeah, that would so the headquarters for those facilities are going to be at 2 locations for forestry equipment. It's in Davenport, Iowa, and then Dubuque, Iowa. Could be one of those 2. The Quad Cities would be closest. That's where our CNF marketing team is at. It's a slow market right now. I'm not sure if there's many roles that are opening given this time in juncture, but watching that board. And who'd you said you're in a contact already?
Yeah, with Herman Hernandez. We spoke probably 4 or 5 weeks ago, I think.
Okay.
Herman Ortiz.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
You're good.
No, that's fine. Okay.
It's been a day. Yeah. So we're like I said, we're open to moving wherever, but
Awesome.
I was kind of looking to concentrate myself somewhere in either of those areas. The thing though, so with me closing up my MBA, should be done in early June. I'm very much in a get in where you fit in mentality. And I was wondering what your recommendation would be for that. Knowing the ultimate goal would be to be product management or strategy for
So the greatest, excellent way, right? So the greatest opportunity is going to be around operations leadership at one of those factory locations. Could even be a customer support role, focus out of the factory. We'll get with Herman Ortiz, right? We can kind of coach him through and see what's out there. That would either be full-time or contingent company roles. I think would be the best match for you, focused around that operations leadership at that factory.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
Hi, David and Cassie.
Hi.
My situation is a little bit different than everybody else's. I'm in the National Guard here in Iowa, and I'm currently a part-time student with Deere already. I got this event from the veteran service from our school, and I thought it would be a good opportunity just to network and just join in and see what everyone's like, what's going on. But I was just wondering, should I still fill out the contact card? Like, I would like to stay internally with Deere, but I just want to see like what other options there were. I know like contract and contingent, all that.
Wait a minute. I want to break this down for Candy Tillman again. All right, wait a minute. Let's
Let's repeat all of that.
I'm listening.
Come
I
on
love
screen,
it.
Billy. Come on. You got your camera working? I want to see this.
I'm Ryan.
Oh, Ryan. Sorry.
Yep, right here.
I thought it was Billy.
Nope.
Ryan. All right, Ryan.
What
Where are
school
you?
did you say, Ryan?
So I'm at the University of Northern
next.
Iowa. I'm sitting down at TCAO right now.
What do you do at TCAO?
I'm on the supplier quality engineer team under Sheila Dickey.
Yeah.
What's TCAO?
And I bet David knows her.
So TCAO is tractor cab.
Tractor
It's the
cab and
assembly.
assembly operations.
Oh,
That's where they build the
Oh.
tractors. You didn't go there, Candy. You went to the
oh, so
Davenport.
fun.
And University of Iowa.
University of
Northern
Northern
Iowa.
Iowa.
Northern Iowa.
University of
UNI.
Northern Iowa, and your Veteran Resource Center told you about this 50 Strong John Deere event.
Yeah, he's very good. He treats us pretty good. So
Yeah.
I saw the email come through on my
They
school
got my
email.
emails.
Yep.
All right. Ryan, for any student on the line, okay, I love this model. And I preach this model. Being a part-time student, going to school and getting integrated into the business like Ryan's at in supply chain engineering or management, right, et cetera, with that. In your case, Ryan, fill out the company contact card.
Yep.
We will assign you a mentor
Okay.
to have these conversations and to help you with your search. What year are
So
you
sadly,
in?
I'm starting late now because I just heard about this, but I graduate in 3 weeks.
Okay, all right. It's
I'm in my
okay. It's
I'm in my
okay.
last time here, coming up on the end.
And what locations are you open to?
Either I would like to stay in Waterloo or go back to. So I'm from the Quad Cities, so either go Quad Cities or stay here in Waterloo.
You're like becoming David's unofficial favorite, Ryan.
No, and oops, it's okay, this is great. Yeah, you did start late. We won't blame you. It's not your fault. But I know Robert, Frederick and Henry Korf did a great job, right? They do a great job there.
Yep.
But I love the model. I've been preaching to folks to grow the model of part-time students. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And let's get going. We're gonna assign you someone to help you with all this
Okay.
process. Fill out a
Yeah,
contact
great.
card, get it done today. Let's go.
All right.
I just
Thank
dropped
you.
the link in the chat again for you, Ryan, so you
Okay.
can just click that direct link and fill out the card. And
Okay.
thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Go Panthers.
Yes, sir.
And Billy
Alright.
is next.
Hi, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. I'm active in the military. I'll be retired in November after 33 years. Believe me, I look younger than I am, I promise, since I was 17. And I just want to say John Deere's what a great American iconic company. I mean, I remember my daughter being born 27 years ago and buying her John Deere t-shirt. And I think we still have it by chance, but just such a great company and such a great story. But I wonder, is there a role for me? I'm the highest you can go in the Navy. I know Rangers lead the way, but Chief Petty Officers run the Navy. I've been a command master chief for 5 tours and everything from recruiting. And right now I'm in Washington, D.C. I do a lot of public relations. Is there a role for me in your company? Would there be a role for me?
Yes, maybe. Yes, we could see. Where do you want to go? How would you answer these
I
three
would
questions?
My wife loves the bridges of Madison County, so I would love to go to Iowa.
Okay. That's awesome. And then that opens up for you, Billy. I would craft. Are you going to do SkillBridge?
I'm not going to do SkillBridge. I work for a flag officer. You know, she's not going to allow me to take that much time off. I'm trying to get my 3 months of terminal out of the way after this. It's so long preparing for this. As if anybody's retired from the military, you know, it's 33 years is a long time. So
yes, sir.
I'm going to have 3 months, but yeah, terminal. But I'm willing to transfer. We have a house in DC, but I'm willing to transfer. I've been lucky enough to live everywhere, so I'm very flexible as that. But I just wonder, is there a role in the company? Is this something I should pursue? Because I really do love your company. I love your story. I love you're just such an icon of this country. You're probably one of the most famous brands out there, probably one of the most trusted.
So there's a pyramid of roles, right? And this is a challenge with senior officers and enlisted, right? Of trying to find a right match for with the type of work you're doing today. And sometimes there's not opportunities that are that readily available, or they're filled within the company, right? So what I would tell you, Billy, in your case is we can explore all this, fill out a contact card. John, you go on the John Deere side. Like we talked about, put in Moline, I think is your best bet, because this will give you the opportunity to look at different roles. And I may talk with you, if you're willing to consider this, really a role to get you in that might be more available, with the long-term goal of getting into something around public relations and something that opens up for instance, if you were on the call earlier when Gina was talking about, there is a position that's posted today for employee communications. That's kind of public relations, right? That you may be a potential candidate to consider for. And once again, it's the gap is, unfortunately, you're not a trusted agent, right? Yet within the company. And
Yes, sir.
skill bridge and getting in and doing other work, that kind of stuff gets you closer to that. So people get to know you.
Good. I understand, sir. I filled out the card and I sure do appreciate your time. I know you guys have a lot on your plate, so thank you.
Oh, don't worry about it. No, this is what we're here for, and appreciate everything you did. And we work with Chief Petty Officer, and from the Navy, and oh yeah, I get it. You're absolutely right. And he reminds us also that they're the one that gets all the work done.
You should also know, Billy, that the very first scale bridge in a John Deere and Company facility was Navy.
That is amazing. That's a nugget I'm going to keep with me when I talk next time. I tell these sailors there's so much opportunity out there.
Yeah. So what Cassie's saying, there's no biases. I don't care if they're Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, right? I have no biases.
It's all red, white, and blue.
That's great. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you, Billy. All right, Joshua, sir, Master Sergeant, I see that Iowa Hawkeye logo in the background. I'm going to call you out on it. What's going on here?
Oh, he's calling me out. Okay. hey, Dave. So I filled out a contact card. I'm working with BJ. Got command sign off on SkillBridge. You guys will most likely be seeing me in the Quad City area, hopefully in October.
Man, you were ready to give this presentation or what? Ready to go, or you know what I mean? It sounds like,
brother. I had it on a post. I had it on a Post-it note, brother. All right. So no, I'm just ready to start the next chapter. Between the Quad City Veteran Network, Brian out there, and then the post from Dave Underwood, and then a lot of the input I've been getting from BJ, and then indirect combo on LinkedIn. Man, I'm set up, and I want to thank the network. And I joined this because I was like, maybe he's going to say something that I've heard that I probably didn't listen so well to, and you absolutely did. So, no, I appreciate it.
Was it consistent?
Yeah, me and BJ had a good talk because we both came from Alabama, so we started just ragging on Alabama Roll Tide the whole time. So
yes,
yeah, you bet. So, yeah, man, I tell you what, you guys, out of all the programs that I've talked to and been part of, I recruited in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, for the longest time, and I absolutely hated it, but I love working with the community partners between Rockwell Collins, you guys, whoever. Was awesome. Right. But I do, man. So my packet will be, so my brigade commander, I'm at the brigade level. He signed off on it. He's like, get out of here. Yeah, you guys will be seeing me in October 2nd.
Awesome. Fantastic. Congratulations. Yeah. Are there any comments from anyone on this call about his Alabama Roll Tide comments?
No, but I did want to just say I love the Iowa Hawkeyes.
I'm not talking to you. Hold on. I'm not talking.
I'm born and raised in Indiana.
There's...
My mom lives in Indianapolis, and we are already planning family trip to go see Caitlin Clark play for the Fever.
Yeah.
We do have a question about what does CA mean in a job description?
Career architect. So really technical terms, meaning that you got to have the skills and or experience to be a candidate for that type of role. Senior level kind of technical understanding. And there will be an assessment that you'll have to take to prove that.
And if I can just piggyback that, as candidates are looking on the John Deere website, the thing that I love about our dealerships and our company website, they are extremely clear on what skills, education, experience you must have, and what will also kind of give you more of a competitive edge. If it says what skills you need and you don't tick all those boxes, you will not be considered for the role. And that is a pretty hard and fast. If it's what makes you stand out, those are great to have, and it's okay if you don't have them yet.
Um, Joshua, I would just like to ask, was the reference to Alabama a positive one or a negative one?
So I got to say this, right? My youngest child was born there, but that doesn't take anything away from my oldest child was born in Arkansas, so it's not a coincidence. But no, I was stationed down there for a couple of years, loved it, absolutely hated the Alabama Roll Tide. Wait, I have no idea. Yeah, it's
Oh
okay.
man,
You can guess.
oh Josh,
You can
Josh,
guess.
slow down, buddy. Slow down, slow down. You're gonna get kicked out of this meeting. You keep talking.
That's why I looked at the timer left. I said I got 10 minutes left to really tick somebody off. So let's do it. No, no, it was great, but it's just, hey, I was there, so I don't mean to hijack this, but I was there when the Auburn returned the field goal for a kick,
stop it.
a
Stop
touchdown.
it.
Iron Bowl.
Let me tell you
Stop
something.
it.
Greatest week of my life. Nobody talked for a week. Nobody talked for a week. Phenomenal. But thanks for putting me on the stage for the comedic light. It was great. Thanks, Candy.
Joshua.
Okay, all right, let's move on. Who's next?
We don't have anybody in the queue right now, but I did want to highlight what John Locke had said, because he seemed to be in a similar situation as Billy, and I just wanted to leave it open to you guys about how it's really truly about getting your foot in the door, because we know that you're very skilled and you're going to promote really quickly based off of your leadership experience and the skills that you gained in the military. Because I know he said something about feeling like the positions were better aligned for him 10 years ago in his career. And so I think that's something valuable to kind of talk about.
Yeah, I'd like to, yeah, thanks Chantel for that, right, John? So what the challenge is you're competing against folks that may have more experience or equivalent experience, or they may have done it within the company, etc. And that's what we're trying to do, is to set you up for success. And if you've got the skill bridge opportunity in a relatively short period of time. So right from day one of starting a skill bridge, with the 3 to 4, and Josh, this is for you, right? Start prepping you from, you got to come in, you got to prove yourself, and that, hey, you're going to add value to this team and grow your network and grow your skills, that you can compete against folks that have been doing the job internally or in a contingent role for 3 to 4 years, right? And that's the ultimate challenge in doing that. And John, that once again, the pyramid of those are where the opportunities most likely are going to be available. And then it gets you, because I have limited roles, because we're promoting internally, or we don't just have different layers of structure, may not have as many that are open. But that may come up. And if you, once again, you get in, and then you can see all that and become that internal candidate also, which opens up a whole lot more. That's the challenge, right, in doing it. It's not that they don't recognize those, but you're just competing against so many folks who may have more experience, and they may know of them and have grown that network, and there's limited opportunities in doing that. Now, some companies may have some of that, and that's fantastic. I also like it that you come in a little bit, right? So that you learn. You learn, and you're much better when you get into those roles, because it's difficult to come in to some of those roles without understanding what's going on with it. Hopefully that answered your question.
And now's the time for anybody that has any additional questions. I see a few names on here that I don't think talked, Emmanuel or Derek. If you have questions, this is the perfect time to ask them. And if you don't want to come off camera or come on camera, you can drop it in the chat.
Okay, while they're doing that, yeah. Aaron, what'd you think about that Brock Purdy, CTO, chief tractor officer commercial?
Okay, before we do that, John, as the wife of a professional economist, you have the coolest name. If anybody knows their history, John Locke is one of the most famous political advisors and economists in history. And it's spelled exactly like that. And my husband actually has a shirt with a dad joke by John Deere on it. And so I just wanted to throw that out.
All right, cool. All right, who's next? Come on, we got 10 minutes left.
This is a good time to ask about, like, if you're interested in specific benefits, you know, or like parental leave, things like that. This is always, or if you just want to ask about tractors, this is also a good time to do that. And don't make, I will point you out and talk to you directly. But if you don't have questions, and if you have just got here, or you got here in the middle of a conversation, please know that there is a dealership room that is open for what parts, service, sales, right? And all your dealership positions, that is open. Do you mind to do a quick overview? It all exists at the dealerships. John, I would also go in, there is a dealership room where you could talk directly to recruiters that are recruiting for the position of the dealership.
We can cover it real quick too. So John, at our dealerships, you're gonna see on this map here that I have on my screen, the key thing right there is a John Deere dealership in your hometown. And some of these dealerships, when they're owned by Fortune 500 companies. So for instance, RDO, United Ag and Turf, Stotz could be large dealerships that own 20, 35, up to 40 different locations. They have those individual stores. The key number one need is mechanics. Okay. And then they have also a number of different management positions to help coordinate between those stores, to include HR, IT, could be, you know what I mean, some of these customer service rep types of roles, customer interfacing, a number of different technology roles, right, to bring it in. So even on the dealership side, the number one thing that's going to drive this is location. And then, you know, what type of work do you want to do? And don't limit it to thinking that, hey, if I'm only mechanics. There's a lot that's out there. It depends on where you're at and if you're by one of those headquarters and if they're looking for that type of work. But we can coach you through how to look for those roles in doing that. Okay. Cool.
Michael?
Yeah, thanks. David, I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit since you like using Army terminology. I'm combing through the job descriptions here, and how do I translate that to look for the right language that would get me to something that's equivalent to like an S3 or G5 position?
S3 would be, I would tell you, that would be, in my opinion, a business unit leader. Okay, and I'll break that down for you. Our team leaders, our operations leaders, leadership, operations leader would be in charge of about 30 folks on the production floor in operations. So they could be responsible for an entire product that they're building, manufacturing, or they could be portion of a entire combine. For instance, our combine has 17,900 parts on it. So, and it takes approximately 30 different departments to build all those parts. And one department that assembles it, final, has 180 people in it that has 6 team leaders on 2 shifts, 90 on each shift. And so there would be 3 team leaders. And then there would be a business unit leader that would be over in charge of approximately, could be ranges of 5 to 8 different folks. So Michael, a key element, right, of coming into that organization is understanding the challenges of safety, quality, cost, and delivery, dealing with those teams of 30. This is why that team leader role is an excellent kind of way to get in there. And then you start to integrate into understanding the different elements of the business of doing that. We also have new product program integrators, right? So the new technology that's coming from our design centers into our operations, making sure it's manufacturable, meeting customer specifications and all that needs. It's another kind of liaison role, right? That would be similar to an S3-ish type of role in looking at it. But those are that's what I would say would be that business unit leader. And then even higher above that, operations manager is next, then factory manager would be on top of that. There's a hierarchy, just like in the military, right? Very similar. But it's important, right, that you're understanding how those teams operate. They're a union environment, some factories, some not, doesn't even matter. People are people. They want leaders that are going to be taking charge, they're going to hold people accountable. And that's where you learn, right, to do that. Now, I'm biased towards that because that was my background, right? And those are the roles that I did at Deere. I started in supply chain, and then I spent 11 years in manufacturing, and I loved it. But it gave me incredible opportunities because you can prove yourself quickly, and you're helping add value. And this is what we do today, is manufacture those products. And when you're putting 18,000 parts together, man, it's chaos. So, and people not showing up. You're accountable for everything that team does not do. You're accountable when they don't show up. You're accountable when they do great things. And you're their subservient leader, which is an excellent match, right, for what people do today in the military.
That's outstanding. Thank you. Appreciate you answering.
All right, thank you, Michael, for the question. All right, Justin, you just joined us. We're going to put you on the spot. How would you answer these 3 questions?
I was in the dealership breakout room, so I wanted to come check this out.
All right.
What locations are you considering? I'm currently in Colorado, but for the right opportunity, I would probably go just about anywhere.
Okay.
I love Nevada. I'm originally from Las Vegas. I spent a lot of time in Florida, so I wouldn't mind that either. But I guess it would depend on the opportunity. Currently, I'm a veteran. I was in the military 8 years ago. I was a 91 Alpha. Before that, I was a mental health specialist. So I went green to gold and then got out after 4 years. So yeah, really thankful for the ROTC for, training me up, putting me back in the Army. And then what type of roles are you looking to do? Do you understand the type of role, and does it match your expectations? Discuss post-internship opportunities and likelihood. I'm a salesperson. I would love to do marketing. I studied that in college as well. Account management. I kind of wrote this down too. Outside sales, inside sales.
Okay.
Government account management, stuff like that. That really gets me excited to help people figure out their challenges and then kind of help them solve them.
Love it. All right. So if you're right on the dealer side, I would think you have an excellent opportunity to find a dealership like I talked about earlier with one of these large United quality equipment dealership firms that need those types of positions specifically around sales. We also have our sales and marketing teams that help support those dealerships that are part of the company. The majority of those teams are going to be located in these large facilities in the Quad Cities, which is Moline, Illinois, Davenport, Iowa, or Des Moines area, or even Waterloo. Okay. So you have a couple of different alternatives. The majority of the roles, there will be more roles available just by the size on the dealer side.
Right.
Okay. And they're located in Florida and those places that you mentioned earlier.
Cool.
Okay.
I have a sales background clearly, but I'm looking for just opportunity. I would love to switch it up and go back to logistics as well. So, I'm really just looking for the right opportunity for myself right now.
All right. No, that's good. So now I'm going to flip it on you, right? On the other hand, you could consider company roles, or those are going to be located in our major manufacturing sites, which are going to be in the Midwest, primarily Iowa.
Right.
We're always needing folks for supply chain, logistics, warehouse management in these large facilities. Waterloo, Iowa. I had a job. My sole job in Waterloo was to make sure we had enough parts that the foundry made to complete X amount of tractors on a given day at any point through that entire chain. So we have a foundry that's getting scrap material, creating these parts, goes to it, they shake it out, they machine it, they build the internals, gears, shafts, internal components. We certify those components in transmissions, axles, and then they get put together as a tractor. That entire chain, right, was my role.
Right.
And my
Sounds
point
exciting.
is, that's where we need professionals, especially logistics, that can help support all that. That gives us a huge competitive advantage and helps us build our great products for our customers. That'd be in Waterloo, Iowa. It gets cold during January and February.
Right.
That's about it anymore. Maybe March.
Talking about cold, because I'm in Colorado and it gets kind of cold, but I heard up
Yeah.
north it's a lot colder than that.
It can still be 90 and then snow on the mountains.
It's not drum.
We close the breakout room.
It's not drum.
I've always feared for drums, so
Yeah, you don't. Waterloo ain't for drum.
okay.
All right. So
breakout
you, in
rooms
your
are
case,
closed.
fill out company side and we can talk.
I filled out both, so
All right.
I'm just looking forward to figuring it out.
Thank you all for joining us. Okay, it looks like they're joining us back.
Yes, so everyone should be back from the breakout rooms. And so David, before I go and wrap up and share our last minute tips, I wanted to know if there was if everybody wanted to drop in the contact cards, or if there was a slide that you wanted to go over before we wrap up everything.
Sure. We can, let me pull it back up real quick, but Cassie can drop it in there. All right, let me make sure I got it here.
Lee did.
Okay, Lee did. Thank you, Lee. It's about time you started adding value, Lee. You know, you've been here a week.
Rude.
Hey, here's our process. All right. The best way, once again, go to our John Deere, scan this QR code and fill out a contact card. One of the two links, dealer or company side. That's the way we're going to contact you. Any questions for folks or comments, Jess or
Andy.
David B, Andy, anyone?
I think we had a great mix of questions today, a lot of different faces and new faces, and a lot of eagerness, which was awesome to see.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, I am going to pass it over to, if anybody didn't actually get to meet Candy, she is 50 Strong's managing co-founder, and I failed to introduce her when we first started. So I want to pass it off to Candy, so that way she can share a little bit about all the really cool stuff we heard today.
Y'all, sorry, I'm sick today, so I didn't want you to have to hear my scratchy voice, but I just wanted to say a couple things. When my husband and I started 50 Strong 4 years ago, what we envisioned was literally a virtual bar where people could come and ask their questions. And we mean military talent of all shapes and sizes, right? So I just want to say thank you all. I mean, we have student veterans here today. We have folks that are trying to go back to Iowa. We have folks in all ranks, right, that are joining us. Some that are currently on active duty, some that are already separated, spouses, Guard, Reserve. I just want to say thank you all for joining us. By the way, there were some such proactive questions that I loved it. And I literally saw people getting exactly the answers and direction that they needed. And so, John Deere team, I want to thank you all for the energy that you bring every day to the military community. So I just want to say thank you. By the way, Justin, it is not often that I hear veterans say, I'm a salesperson. So kudos to you. Me too, friend. And there are amazing pathways in that area that, frankly, I don't see enough people exploring. So if you are not already connected with me on LinkedIn, let's make that happen. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Chantal, thanks for hosting too. Back over to y'all.
She did speak up when somebody brought up Roll Tide.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
and-
there was a mention to Roll Tide, and so I couldn't help myself.
Good Lord. Oof,
We
about
kicked him
derailed
out
the
'cause he
whole.
didn't like Alabama. I'm just kidding. We didn't kick him out.
All right.
My feelings hurt, Candy. Thank you. Ouch. No, thanks, folks. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm sorry. Well,
We do have a giveaway.
I was just
Oh,
gonna,
yeah.
I was gonna try to do the giveaway slide, but please take it away, Cassie.
David,
Well, I don't know the details. You all do. Come on.
Jess,
Okay, fine, I'll take it. All right, y'all, here's the spiel. If you have a LinkedIn account, all you have to do is post about something new that you learned today from our team, tag the 50 Strong team and tag somebody from our team today, and then we'll enter you in a giveaway where you'll get some pretty cool John Deere swag. So that's all you have to do. See you on LinkedIn.
and John Deere green is a universally flattering color
It is.
for that swag.
Go from one green to the next, so.
I think Candy and I both have a hat and, oh, yeah, there we go. That's awesome.
That was their cue to David, show us the hat.
And then if anybody wants to maybe talk about something that they learned that they had no idea about from the John Deere team, tag 50 Strong and John Deere, and we'll send you a t-shirt or a hat.
All the stuff.
Awesome.
I wanted to thank the John Deere team, and if you have any last minute things, please go for it. But the biggest thing is please contact card. If you want to have these conversations, these in-depth conversations about roles that align with your skill set, and you wanting to get into John Deere, you really need to fill out that contact card, and please follow up, engage on LinkedIn. This is all about building relationships that are meaningful, that's what opens doors for you. But thank you so much for joining us. And then just a reminder, we have an event tomorrow with Johnson & Johnson, and then next week Tech Systems, and we're just grateful for all of you. And that's it.
Thank y'all.
Thank
so
you,
much.
50 Strong. Yeah.
Thank you, 50 Strong.
Thank you
Thanks,
for your
John Deere.
service. Is the recording still going?